episode 39 of Fist of the North Star 1 Point. The keyword for this episode is going to be legend. Of course, when I say legend, what you'd think of concerning this episode is the legend of Cassandra. What I want to say is that the legend of Cassandra is called as such because a legend is that thing that is transmitted from generation to generation about an old story that tells you something important, something that you have to keep in mind. The legend of Cassandra is in the image of the chaotic state of the world. So it's a world in which you have lost all hope. Horror reigns, the powerful kills, dominates, rules over the weak. And you think, that's it now. Cassandra is in the image of that. It's the legend, this old story that evil is going to win. And so, 𝚿𝚎𝚅 impersonates, of course, here, this archaic evil king. It's this image of the evil king. And that whole area is basically his kingdom and everyone living like slaves, having no freedom and no happiness. Now, more precisely here, those are martial artists. And that means two things. One, they're strong people, and despite their strength, they can do nothing about the situation. So there's no hope, it seems. And two, a martial art is knowledge and skill, competence. And that is important to achieve good, or more efficiently, or to achieve more efficiently evil. In this case, there's no hope, and let's say 𝚿𝚎 steals their martial arts, by the way, to dominate them with their own knowledge, competence, and skill. So there is zero hope, it seems. Now, that's the legend. Let's say that's one legend, that's one story. Now, of course, a legend is known to be a story that is told, but we don't know whether it really happened. So that's not what matters, though. It's not whether it really happened, it's what it's talking about. Is it real? Can we relate to it based on our own experiences? Does it seem to be true? And in such a chaotic world, it seems that legend is true. Of course, 𝚿𝚎 antagonists believe in that, but Rāga and Fuga have a doubt. And so they want to believe in the legend of the Savior, which is the title, a title that we see in the beginning of every episode of this anime, right? It's the legend of the Savior of the last century, or of the end of the century. And 𝚿𝚎 doesn't believe that. That's not a real legend. That's not true. But as we said, the point of a legend is not whether it's real as in it has physically happened before, or whether it's a real story as in real people did this. It's whether the meaning is true. And now, so far we've been talking about the anime, but in real life, we also know stories as such, legends. So what I want to say in this video is a more general thing, let's say, is that you don't really attend to whether something really physically happened. That doesn't matter. What matters is what's behind the apparent. It's the meaning. It's what it's talking about. So this means that this anime and it's Fist of the North Star, right? Like, you touch pressure points, they blow up. Some dudes are 3, 4, 5 meters tall. So it's just fantasy, right? No. All of those symbolize some real things. And we use symbols as such because then the real meaning gets to be implicit, and that's stronger. We mentioned this before. It's kind of like telling your child to do something, and oftentimes they don't listen because they have a spirit of opposition, which is important because it makes you live and fight against difficulties in life, or showing them the example, and oftentimes they do what you do. So that's why it's implicit, and that's going on that's what's going on with this whole legend thing here. So we have the legend of Cassandra that gets to be also a more explicit, as it's called, legend, a more explicit legend as such compared to what we're going to get later, which is going to be much more of this one dude who wants to conquer the world. And then, is that going to work, or is it the legend of the savior? So this episode is kind of like, or this story arc, kind of like a preparation and a more explicit explanation of, let's say, what we're going to get later.